Hey guys, Changi here, in my bedroom, where I edit photos, where I live, sleep, do all the good stuff. But today I thought I would talk to you about the dark room and shooting with film. So I'm not going to vlog around this week, I'm just going to vlog here and just show you the photos that I've taken this week, the ones that I've processed and the ones that I've put online or scanned in. Anyway, let's get in. This here is developed film. So we developed this on Friday at the CCP, and this is actually my first set of negatives that I've ever developed slash held in my hands. It was actually a really fun process. So our teacher Gavin, he showed us how to develop the film, and so the first step was to we were practicing on the spirals that the film goes on, so that all the chemicals can get inside it and develop it. And so what he did is he got some old film that was used, and we had practiced putting it on in the light, because the film is sensitive to light. So if we take it out while it's still in the canister, it would overexpose our images and just destroy them. So we'd practice a bit, and then we'd practice with our eyes closed. Then we went into the dark room, and we usually load the film and process it in the film loading booth, but it was just easier for us to all do it in a group in a big room, just so he could help us when we had issues. So when we got into the dark room, technically the film loading booth, it was like pitch black, and all we could see was Gavin's watch just floating around as he was moving from group to group, and it was really cool to see it, or well, not see it, but feel it all go together in the spiral, and then we put it in the tank, and then we went off to go develop it. And so the first step of the developing was using the developer, and so it's a chemical that goes inside it, mixed in with a bit of water I think, and every minute for 5 seconds we would agitate it so it would keep it moving, but we couldn't shake it so the bubbles would come in. So that was sick, but yeah. Then we had to empty it out, and we put stop bath. We put water in it to wash all the developer out, and then we put stop bath in it to stop it from developing any further. Then we washed that out with water, and we put fixer in for 2 minutes with constant agitation to fix the negative to the film and keep it there. So that was really cool to see. We couldn't see it yet. And then we took out the film out of the tank, and we put it in the water to wash off all the chemicals. And then we were able to pull the film off the spiral, and it was really cool just to see all the film all on this long strip. And then we put it in a film drying rack, which is just hot air, basically, at 35 degrees, and that dried the film after it was being wet. And it was cool just to see the film. It curled up first on the layer the side that it heated up first, and then over time it would stretch back out to where it was flat, and it was just this long strip of film there, which was really incredible to see. Then we had to cut the film up into 6 photo strips and put it into this negative sleeve so we could make a contact sheet. And then Gavin took us back into the dark room and got an enlarger, put up the enlarger head where the light is, put down some photographic paper, put our images onto the photographic paper, put a sheet of glass to hold the negatives flat onto the photographic paper, and then exposed it, which is turned on the light, so the photographic paper would invert the negatives basically back into positives. And then what was really cool was we were working in safe lights, so we could see what was around us, but you could look at the photographic paper and it was, it was still just white, there was nothing on it. Then we had to put it into the developer tray, so you put the paper in the developer and you constantly agitate it, and after about, I think it was 20-30 seconds, you just see the image just appear on the paper. And seeing that for the first time was amazing. Like, it felt so good to see that something that you had taken and created come up on paper. And it's a different experience to shooting on digital, where digital you can just go take tons of photos, but film you have to think about the photo because there's only 36 shots on a roll. That's how it came out. Gavin accidentally put the edge of the glass over the thing that had tape over it, so cut off a bit. That was annoying, but I guess it is what it is. Now I'm going to start talking about images. Images that I took. So, the first image I took, well, the first image that I'm going to talk about is an image that, this image right here. And it's of a old car. The funny thing was, this image, even though it looks like it was taken at night, was taken in the middle of the day. It was about 1 p.m. or what was it, 12 p.m. after we're leaving the CCP to go back to school. And this old car, I see it in the distance coming down. I'm like, I've got to take a photo of that. So I got all the settings right before taking the photo. So that's another thing with film. You've got to know your settings of the camera. And I made sure all the aperture and all of that was lined up, correctly exposed. And I see the car coming, and I'm like waiting for it. I'm framing it up. It comes through, and you just hear the of the shutter. I'm not going to do it now because I've got film loaded in it in the camera. But you just hear the and it's like, wow! It's just such a satisfying feeling when you see it. But the thing I like about this image is that it looks like it was taken back in the old days. It's a little bit out of focus, which I like actually, because it intrigues. I feel like it intrigues you into the photo. It makes me feel like what sort of detail was there. The lights. I like how the light in the image is on, and just how all the cables and that are just all going through, and I feel like it draws you down back to where the ute is. Okay, so the next image I'm going to talk about is this one right here, and it's a picture of Rose with her dog Murphy, and we were going for a walk along Linear Park the other day. I needed to get this film, or the roll of film, I needed to smash it out just because we were developing up the next day, which is the Friday. And I got Rose to sit down on this wooden pole and look off to the distance. The sun was, so if I was sitting where Rose was, the sun was off back this way, sort of backlighting her and completely blowing out the sky, which is really cool just because it made it a pretty much complete white background. And the trees that are behind her, especially the one that's out of focus, almost looks like it's coming out of the sky, like it's blending like right into the sky. Then what I also really love about this image is how the trees are making this archway that are drawing you right to the center where Rose's face is. I really like how this image exposed, so I haven't done any editing to any of these images. This is just how they were taken in camera and then just processed or scanned into my phone onto the computer. Yeah, but I like how it feels a bit faded. There's not much contrast to the image. That's something I'm really loving about this black and white film. But I can always edit it and add more contrast back into it. So the next image I'm going to talk about is this one right here, and shot the same day as the last one. But it's of Rose running across the road with her dog in the distance. And I like how the road is just straight down the center, and it's leading you along to directing you straight to where Rose is running. And just the lines that are on the road are all leading you right to that point. I like how the sky is blown out again, because again it was in the afternoon. And I like how there's still pretty much no contrast. It's very flat. That's what I think gives this image its feel. So the next image is this one here, and it's of my man Ethan and Jack. It was after the CCP last week. Yeah, with the same day as the first image that I showed you. And we were going to try and find Ethan a film camera because he wanted a point and shoot. I don't know why. But we're walking down Chinatown, and they're just standing there, they're walking, and I just see it, so I just took it, and yeah, it came out really well. I like the sharpness in this image and the contrast in it. I think the contrast is what gives this emotion. So yeah, so the image that I picked for this week that is my photo of the week is this one here, the old rustic car going down the street. That is my favourite image of the week, and how it looks like it's old, rustic, love about it. Anyway guys, that's all the time I've got for today. Till next week guys, peace out.